Welcome to Brunswick Beat,
Brunswick County's only television news show brought to you by the Brunswick Beacon. I'm Rachel Johnson.
And I'm Stacy Manning. A 6-year-old girl got more than 140 stitches after being bitten by a shark on Monday. An emergency call for an animal bite on the beach strand went out at around 11:30 a.m. Monday. The Ocean Isle Beach Police and Fire Departments responded and initially reported the girl had puncture wounds, but it turned out to be much worse. Ocean Isle Beach Mayor Debbie Smith called her a brave little girl and said on Tuesday she seemed to be in good spirits. The family told town officials the mother and daughter were swimming in less than waist-deep water on the east end of the island near the inlet when the mother saw fish jumping. She said she also saw a shark. They were trying to get out of the water when the bite occurred. Every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m., the Museum of Coastal Carolina on Ocean Isle Beach offers a program designed to teach people about beach safety. The program is called Who Are You Swimming With? And the focus is on safety in and out of the water.
Facebook postings have landed a Brunswick County man in jail. Less than 3 hours after pleading guilty to felony inciting a riot charges, Jamar Bethea was arrested and placed under a $1 million bond for violating his probation. Bethea was one of 6 men charged with felony inciting a riot in connection with the April 2011 shooting death of South Brunswick High School football star Marcus Hankins. Bethea pleaded guilty June 14th, and hours after leaving court, he was arrested for posting on Facebook, a direct violation of his probation agreement. Samar Gardner and Michael Frank have both been sentenced to suspended prison sentences, while Sir Cedric Hewitt, Rasheen Bellamy, and Tyrell Webb are awaiting hearings on felony charges.
Brunswick County Commissioners have approved a $194.1 million operating budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Commissioners approved the new budget 3 votes to 2, with Commissioners Marty Cook and Charles Warren dissenting. The budget takes effect July 1st. The budget is 1.8% more than the current fiscal year. The property tax rate will remain the same at 44.25 cents per $100 of assessed property value. The general fund budget includes a net reduction of 14 positions with the addition of 3.3 new positions. The budget does not include any cost of living or merit increases for county employees.
With an ordinance change approved Monday, county commissioners replaced what was formerly the county's Animal Services Department with the Sheriff Animal Protective Services. Beginning July 1st, all animal control, including enforcement, shelter operations, and adoptions, will be under the umbrella of the Sheriff's Office. Commissioners approved the switch at their June 4th meeting, but a unanimous ordinance change approval, which came Monday night, was required to make the move official. In its first fiscal year, Sheriff Animal Protective Services will operate on a $751,000 budget.
3 people were arrested in a meth lab bust last week after drug agents busted a lab in a home at 2560 Elkin Street in Supply. Narcotic agents served a search warrant at the home at 9 p.m. Friday, June 15th, where they found a small working meth lab. 3 people were arrested: Matthew Cordell, 35, and Melissa Bumgarner, 33, both of 2560 Elkin Street. Raymond Barefoot, 35, of Dunn, who was there when the search warrant was executed, was on pretrial release from a previous meth lab charge. Barefoot's bond was revoked, and he was given a new $250,000 secure bond. All 3 suspects were in custody at press time on Tuesday.
An attorney with the North Carolina Press Association says closure of a meeting to the public last week so Sunset Beach town and county officials could discuss sewer installation was not justified. The response came after Sunset Beach Town Councilwoman Carol Scott told a Beacon reporter the June 13th meeting was not a public meeting. Scott, along with Councilmember Wilson Sherrill and town staff, met with Brunswick County officials. The reporter asked Scott to cite the statute justifying the closed session. She said there were touchy issues to be discussed and there might be discussion about personnel. Mike Toddy, an attorney with the North Carolina Press Association, says the law requires a reason for closing a meeting to be stated. He says there are no provisions for closed-door negotiations or to deal with touchy issues. In fact, the public policy behind the open meetings law acknowledges such discussions take place in public view.
A second public hearing has been scheduled to get comments about Brick Landing Plantation sewer assessments. The total project cost to be recouped by assessment is more than $800,000, and there are about 510 parcels in the Special Assessment District. Commissioners unanimously approved a 50% per parcel and 50% lot acreage assessment method at their meeting Monday night. The public hearing will be at 6:30 p.m. Monday, July 16th, before the Brunswick County Commissioners meeting in their chambers at the County Complex in Bolivia.
Machel Reinheimer has donated a memorial garden to the new SECU hospice house in memory of her late husband, Walter. Their life together was filled with love and adventure, and she wanted to give back to an organization that helped her and Walter. Read her story in this week's Beacon, and don't forget to drop by this Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. to take a guided tour of the new Hospice Life Care Center in Bolivia. An open house is planned so the community can see what they have helped to create. The 7-bed patient facility will officially open to patients on July 1st. Read all these stories and much more in this week's edition of the Brunswick Beacon, available on newsstands now.
Welcome to the Beacon Sports Report. Midway through his first season in the Grand Am Continental Tire Series Challenge, Chad McCumbee is proving to be a quick learner and a competitive driver. Through 5 races for CJ Wilson racing in Mazda MX-5 in the Street Tuner class, McCumbee and co-driver Jason Sanney had a 4th-place finish in March at Barber Motorsports Park and a 10th-place finish in May at New Jersey Motorsports Park. A 34th place finish in June 9th at the Mid-Ohio Sports Course dropped the team to 14th in points. McCumbee still is active in local racing and has signed Sam Yarbrough to race in the late model series at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Yarbrough is a 2008 late model champion at Myrtle Beach Speedway. The NC Wildlife Resource Commission will lead statewide efforts for Operation Dry Water, the 4th annual national campaign to prevent alcohol-related boating accidents. Law enforcement officers from local, state, and federal agencies will be out in force June 22nd through the 24th to remind boaters that it is unsafe as well as illegal to operate a boat under the influence of drugs and/or alcohol. In North Carolina, penalties for boating while impaired can include fines up to $1,000 and jail. The 4th of July is your one chance in a year to get hooked on fishing for free. From 12:01 a.m. until 11:59 p.m., everyone in North Carolina, resident or non-residents, can fish in any public body of water from mountain trout waters to coastal waters without purchasing a fishing license or additional trout fishing privilege. Although no fishing license is required to fish on July 4th, the North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission reminds anglers that all other fishing regulations such as size and creel limits and lure restrictions still apply. The West Brunswick High School baseball team beat Hoggard 9-3 on June 14th in a Central Carolina Scholastic Summer League game at West. West finished with 10 hits but set up of its runs with 14 steals. Khalil Goss, Gray Cheers, Sean Hewitt, and Eric Hill each had 3 stolen bases. Goss stole home on a delayed steal, and winning pitcher Ryan Kaysen gave up 2 runs and 4 hits in 4 innings. He walked 4 and struck out 3. Read all these stories and see more great photos in this week's sports section of the Beacon.
Once again.
Hey Laura, how are you?
Good. I'm always having a good time when I'm here playing with the kittens.
Well, I just wanted to let you know we are loaded with kittens right now. These 2 are Wendy that I'm holding and Willow you're holding. And they're 2 out of a litter of 7 babies that came from the Calabash area. And they're just 2 months old now. They'll be ready in, I think, 2 weeks. They'll be spayed, neutered, and ready to go. 2 weeks from when we're filming this.
Okay, all right.
So they'll be ready right around the end of June.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a good time.
We have 2 girls and 5 boys in the litter. We have these 2, and there's a black and white, and 2 orange, and 2 real pale orange that we call buff.
Aw.
and they're just as cute as they can be.
They really are. There's lots of adorable babies here to choose from. So come on out to Cattails. They're located in the Cornerstone Center off of Beach Drive near Ocean Isle Beach. They are open to the public for visitation with their cats and kittens from 11 to 1 on Wednesdays and from 11 to 3 on Saturdays and Sundays.
Right, you got it.
I finally got it. Okay, Trish, thanks once again.
Okay.
Hey, have a good summer.
When Jerry Fullwood returns home after a day's hard work at Sunny Point, he usually is greeted by a herd of cattle at his family Century Farm that he shares with his wife, Louise. The family farmland, about 200 acres along Mint Cemetery Road, is where Jerry grew up. He inherited the land from his dad, Henry Fullwood. It's also one of the 40 designated Century Farms in Brunswick County, so named because they have had continuous ownership by a family for a century or more.
They just got out of school, but Aaron and Haley Dreyer can already talk about how they spent their summer vacation. It took root in the spring when the Oak Island brother and sister decided to plant potatoes to donate to area food pantries in the Winnebago fields of their great-grandfather, Cedric Ottaway. Last week, they dug and harvested some of the potatoes they planted and took about 100 pounds to Brunswick Island's Baptist Church and Supply. The potatoes are to be distributed this week at the church's monthly Loaves and Fishes food pantry. They also plan to deliver another 100 pounds to a soup kitchen at Good Shepherd Church in Wilmington. They say it's hard to grow potatoes, but they plan to keep growing things to help feed people who are hungry.
It's kids' summer movie time again. Now that school is out, Coastal Cinema 10 on Bridgers Road in Shallotte has launched its seasonal kids' summer movie series. Movie showings are at 10 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays through August 2nd. Admission for all ages is $1 per person. This week's featured movie is Steven Spielberg's The Adventures of Tintin. You can find out more details about things to do in the area while on summer vacation in the Tide section of this week's Beacon.
It was an era of trucker strikes, corruption in government, and the end of driving on the beach at Holden Beach. In our continuing Look Back series, the Brunswick Beacon this week recalls what was happening in Brunswick County during the mid-1980s from 1983 to 1985. Each month, as the Beacon observes its 50th anniversary this year, we are bringing readers a glimpse into the past. For more details, pick up this week's issue of the Beacon.
That's all the time we have for tonight, but you can read all these stories and much more in this week's Beacon. If you have comments or suggestions for us at Brunswick Beat, you can email us at brunswickbeat@brunswickbeacon.com. Don't forget to follow the Beacon on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for Brunswick Beacon.
Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to tune in next week for a brand new edition of Brunswick Beat, Brunswick County's only television news show. We close out this week's show with images from the Sunburst Youth Rally last Saturday at Ocean Isle Beach.